the Bobby Moe Show right here on the RMU Athletics Game Day app. I'm the play-by-play voice of Robert Morris University basketball and football, Chris Shovlin. Good to have you aboard with us today for another edition of the Bobby Moe Show. Coming up next, we're going to be talking with Chelsea Blakely. She is the Deputy Director of Athletics and Chief Marketing Officer here at RMU, and we're going to be talking about a big initiative this weekend for both the men's basketball home opener on Friday night and the final football game of the season on Saturday afternoon involving the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. It's an important issue right now, particularly as we come toward Thanksgiving. It's Fansgiving right here at RMU. And Khalil Spear of the men's basketball team will be joining us as well. All that to follow right here on the Bobby Moe Show. Parents, sign your kids up for the all-new Romo's Kids Club presented by Mike and Tony's Gyros. It's free for all kids 12 and under. Your kids get free admission to select RMU men's and women's basketball games, special game day activities, and free Mike and Tony's kids meals. And parents, get special ticket pricing for any extra tickets. Register today at rmucolonials.com/kids club or call 412-397-4949. Here in the first segment of the Bobby Moe Show this week, we have one of the members of the top brass here in the athletic department at Robert Morris University. She is Chelsea Blakely, the Deputy Director of Athletics and Chief Marketing Officer for the Colonial Athletic Program. And Chelsea, before we get into some stuff about Robert Morris, I understand you were a volleyball player in your collegiate days, and talk about your experience doing that.
Yeah, I mean, super grateful for the opportunity to participate in college athletics. I think it's one of the reasons why I love my job and why I continue a career in college athletics, because it gave me such an opportunity academically, but also to give back to the student athletes that benefited the same way I did. So definitely started my path to college athletics as a career, and also my time in meeting Chris King and kind of how I ended up in Pittsburgh, I guess, too.
I was going to say, he brought you up from Texas, right? You were both at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, and came here to Pittsburgh together, obviously, to work in the athletic department here at Robert Morris, and a connection there with Chris. Yeah,
I mean, it was just a really interesting time. When he became the athletic director, I was wrapping up my master's program. I was a grad assistant for the athletic department. And just the amount of passion and persistence and all of the wonderful things that were happening at UTRGV gave us an opportunity. It was something I wanted to be a part of. So I worked in various capacities for him for 10 plus years, and then thought it'd be a great opportunity to broaden my horizons and come to Pittsburgh and check out another institution.
Another way to extend your career, too, in athletics, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I know that, the Colonial men's basketball team has been on the road for the most part. The women, of course, have had a home game against Akron, but the home opener this week is kind of special, not just because the guys are coming back home. They're playing Mount St. Mary's, which is an old-time Northeast Conference rival, but there's a special event that has benefit to the community going on as well.
Yeah, we're really excited. I mean, it's the first time we're going to have fans in the building for a men's basketball game in quite some time, right? So that's exciting in itself. But yes, we're also partnering with the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank to host what we're calling Fansgiving. It's an opportunity for individuals who donate 5 non-perishable food items, or they can donate online to get a ticket for those sorts of donations. And it's a great way for us to partner with a cornerstone of our community and help them provide meals to families in need during this holiday season. And I think it's just important that it is important for us as an institution and athletic department to really serve the community in which we live and that supports us. So it's a great partnership, I think, that benefits really the region.
Yeah, no question about it, Chelsea. I'm sure looking at our community, looking at all the communities across the country, ever since the COVID-19 crisis has hit us, a lot of people are hurting right now.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I was just telling another one of our colleagues that the greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank has seen an increase of about 30% in food insecurity in our region. And just even $1 a donation will provide 5 meals for children and families in need in southwestern PA. So A little support can go a long way in our community, and we're just like happy and proud to have the opportunity to partner with them to really give back to the people who are supporting Robert Morris University.
It's a great initiative on the university's behalf, but it's not the only one Robert Morris does. I know that the athletic department is really, really active in the community and does as much as it can.
Yeah, I think we're, now that things are starting to open up and it's safe for our teams to get out, we're seeking opportunities. We believe that it's important to serve the community in which you live and thrive in, and they give so much opportunity to our current student athletes. And if we want that support, and we want the fans and the general community to come support us, we want to make sure that they know that we're here supporting them, especially during this holiday season and time of need. So, we'll continue any opportunity that we have to get out into the community and have our teams connect with, local youths or community organizations. We're happy to build that bridge, I think.
And of course, I know you mentioned earlier, we're excited about having fans back at the UPMC Event Center for men's basketball. And I'll speak personally because I travel with the men's team, been with them for a number of years now. But the whole COVID-19 thing and playing games in front of no fans and really generating a nice television audience on ESPN Plus and ESPN3, but still selfishly, you want those people in the building. We want them there. The players want them there. The coaches want them there. That was a weird year last year.
It was definitely something I could not have ever imagined. And I was talking with our admissions department because we're collaborating with them to bring some groups to games. Sure. But even just the energy for fans, like even if it's not selfishly for the athletic department, but to be a part of the community and to come in and feel that excitement and the energy through the building is just something that's really unique that college sports gives you the opportunity to have. It's really accessible. And, I almost cried when the national anthem started playing at the first football game this year, just because it was just, for me, a very much a reminder, seeing the people in the stands, the community, the youth and our students just being excited and rallying around the pride that we have for this university. And college sports gives you a unique opportunity to do that. So yes, it's nice to be sort of returning to normal.
How tough was the pandemic on you personally? I mean, here you are, you're in Pittsburgh for the first time, spending the first year of your career here in Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden we get cloistered and we can't go anywhere. I mean, what was it like for you being a brand new Pittsburgher?
It was a little bit disappointing, right? Because I'm in South Texas. It's just a very different community and dynamic. So coming to Pittsburgh and the history and the culture that lives and breathes here was something I was really looking forward to. Sure. So didn't get the opportunity for that, but I will say, it was somewhat beneficial because there were so many moving parts to COVID and trying to keep our staff safe, our student athletes safe. Also managing all the transitions in college athletics in general with NIL. So it was kind of good they had us all locked down so that we could focus on how to keep everybody safe and hopefully keep us moving forward at the same time.
There's a blessing in everything here and there.
Amen.
All right, tell me one more time, the Pittsburgh Community Food Bank, the drive here at Robert Morris, home game Friday night against Mount St. Mary's men's basketball. Will be tipping off at 7 o'clock. We'll have that game for you on the RMU Athletic Game Day app on the audio side, ESPN Plus on the video side. But we want to see you here, and we want you to bring those non-perishable food items. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so you can bring 5 non-perishable food items to the People's Gate or UPMC Gate for the basketball game on Friday night to get a ticket. We're also doing this for Saturday's football game, so that's an option too.
And the football team plays Campbell on Saturday at noon.
Yeah, so last home game of the season for them, celebrating our seniors this weekend. And you can also text RMU21 to 50155 to make your donation, which also can result in a ticket. And for more information, you can check out our website, rmucolonials.com, or connect with us on social at RMU Athletics to get all the information and details.
Okay, and I'm sure this is just the first of many initiatives we'll hear from you about with Robert Morris Athletics as the seasons go on.
You got it. Yes, looking forward to it. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks for joining me, Chelsea. We really appreciate it. That's Chelsea Blakely, Deputy Director of Athletics, Chief Marketing Officer in the Athletic Department here at Robert Morris University. Stay tuned. We're coming back more of the Bobby Moe Show. We're going to have one of the stars of the basketball team, Khalil Spear, number 2 in the Colonial Blue. That's next right here on the Bobby Moe Show.
Want to catch all the action of RMU football and basketball, but your schedule is too busy to commit to games in advance? Have we got a ticket package for you? Our new Flex plan gives you the ultimate flexibility to pick and choose your games and saves you 30% off regular ticket prices. For only $99, you'll receive 12 ticket vouchers you can redeem in any number at the box office on game day. Call the RMU Ticket Hotline at 412-397-4949 or check it out at rmucolonials.com.
Hey, it's Chris Shovlin. We're back for the final segment of the Bobby Moe Show for this week, and we have another special guest from the basketball team. He is Khalil Spear, the forward, 6'7", 220. He is a senior from the Colony, Texas. And Khalil, every time I introduce the starting lineup during the ball games, I mention you're from the Colony, Texas. I mean, it sounds like it's such a unique hometown. Tell me about where you're from.
Yeah, so I'm from a town that's really tight-knit. We got a good amount of elementary schools, but there's only 2 middle schools in the town and 1 high school. So kind of everybody growing up knows each other. The parents get to know you and your friends growing up. You kind of get to see the same group of people. It's really tight-knit. And I guess growing up there, I didn't realize how unique the city name is because I just always heard it. But as I've gone to school and college and I told people where I'm from, they've definitely told me that the Colony sounds kind of, cultish or other things. And then whenever they hear that I live in the Colony on Legend Lane, it kind of sounds even crazier. It's just kind of
Man, that's cool.
Cool,
What are you talking
yeah.
about? Crazy.
It's definitely cool.
That is definitely cool. What part of Texas is the Colony?
The Colony is North Dallas. It's a suburb of the DFW. It's about 30, 35 minutes, give or take, from downtown Dallas. So it's real close to the city. It borders cities like Frisco and Plano, where like the Cowboys have their practice facility and stuff like that. So it's definitely an area, a hub of a bunch of new development. So
Sure.
It's a great place to live in.
So you mentioned the Cowboys. Are you a big Dallas Cowboys fan? Are you a Mavericks fan?
So the funny thing is, I'm from Dallas, but the Dallas Cowboys are actually my least favorite team in the NFL. I grew up a Washington football team fan because my family is from the East Coast. They grew up a lot in D.C., Maryland area, Virginia area. So my father and my mother grew up Redskins fans, and I just always grew up a fan as well. So that was just instilled in my blood at a young age, and me and my siblings and my parents all root for them. So as a Washington football team fan, the number one thing is you got to go against the Cowboys. So
Sure.
I live in enemy territory.
NFC East, you better believe it. They are enemies. That's too bad because Sean Lee, who was the starting linebacker for Dallas up until last year, I worked with his dad. So I was thinking, I'm going to interview a Texas guy. Maybe I'll talk to you about the Cowboys. And I found out you're not a fan. So we'll just drop that right here and now.
Right.
We'll drop that for sure. What about pro basketball? I mean, are you a Mavs fan?
So I grew up really liking the Mavs whenever I was younger.
Yeah.
But whenever I started to I would say around like 12, 13 years old, when I really started to get a grasp on basketball, I really liked watching LeBron James.
Yep.
And I'd say from that time to like the end of his first stint in Cleveland is when I really became a big LeBron fan. I kind of just cheered for him no matter where he was. And I think that's going to be a problem for me now because like LeBron's coming towards the end of his career, and I don't know what team I'm going to be able to cheer for whenever he retires. But
Sure.
He's definitely my favorite player, and I've always just kind of followed him wherever he's landed.
That's pretty cool. Let's talk about you now and your career here at Robert Morris. Obviously, you transferred in from Bucknell, and Bucknell's in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, a nice little town. It's a little bit different here than the Moon Township campus because we're out here in the suburban sprawl. A lot of activity here, too. But can you compare Bucknell to Robert Morris?
It's definitely different. I would say the difference is, like you said, the proximity to like a more urban area is definitely different. At Bucknell, there wasn't really a city that you could drive to 30 minutes away. I mean, there was a city like Selinsgrove that had a mall, but it was still kind of smaller scale. It's not on the level of a Pittsburgh, you know? So being out here, there's more, I guess there's more people to meet. Like you're just going to see different people because there's different areas to go. And I would say that's the difference, but I have my love for both places. I learned to love to live in Lewisburg, and I'm learning to love to live in Pittsburgh as well. Being in the North in general has been a change for me because growing up in the South, I'm not used to the really harsh or cold winters. So in both places, I had to get used to that, and that was the biggest adjustment. But I would just say that in both areas, they have their difference, but I found to enjoy both.
Khalil Spear is my guest in this segment of the Bobby Moe Show, and let's talk a little bit about Robert Morris basketball right now. That was a tough 3-game opener. First at UCF, Central Florida, then Kentucky at Rupp Arena on the big stage, and finally at Ohio University, which was an NCAA tournament team last year. Let's talk about those first 3 games and how you think you played.
So I'm pretty pleased with my performance. I hold myself to a high standard, so oftentimes after the game, even whenever people are telling me that I've played well, I'm asking my parents for critique on my game, my cousins as well, my sister, and just learning ways I can get better, because I always feel that there's something more that I can do. And I know that sometimes that standard I hold myself to is unrealistic, but I think it's what helps me continue to grow in my journey. And as you said, those first 3 games were a really tough stint, but I'm glad that we had it. I'd rather us suffer early in the season and learn from these mistakes, learn from the growing pains of having such a new team developing, and be better off in the end, because I feel like these challenges are really good for us. We showed ourselves that in large parts of those games that we can hang with anybody. There's just a few things that are slipping from us right now that are expected with a really new team, but I feel like as long as we continue to work and we don't let ourselves get downed by those losses, we're gonna be really good.
Well, from my view, you're playing very, very well, and frankly, from my view, you look like you're a little bit bigger and more muscular than you were a year ago. So obviously, you went into the weight room after last season.
Yes, for sure. So one thing that I always prided myself on in my college career is just how I've attacked the weight room, because coming out of high school when I was growing up, I didn't put too much focus in the weight room, because I feel I just wasn't as educated as I am now, and just knowing how being stronger and being in shape helps you on the floor. And I came into college 6'7", 180, 185, just really frail, and just getting bullied around by my teammates my first year in college. I learned that putting on weight, healthy weight, and attacking the weight room was going to be a big part of my development. And just incorporating that into my work style has made a big difference in my game. And although I have gotten to a relatively good on-court size, I feel like there's always room for improvement. So every offseason I make sure as well with my on-court skills that I attack in the weight room to continue to get bigger, be able to help my team, because I know we go into situations where maybe we won't have a 5-man that can match their 5-man's height, but maybe I can put up an effort with my strength on the block and my quickness. So just knowing that there's always room to work helps me stay focused in the weight room.
Yeah, I'm sure nutrition is a big part of it as well, and you're probably eating better, but when it's time to really like grab something that you love, what's your favorite food?
When it's time to grab something that I really love, that can depend, but if I had to say a go-to, I'd say ice cream. I'm a big ice cream fan.
Okay.
I love some ice cream.
Any particular flavor?
I like Ben & Jerry's half-baked. That's my favorite Ben & Jerry's. But if I had to choose just a straight flavor, I'd say strawberry ice cream. I love strawberry ice cream.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool. What about I asked Coach Toole this when he was on the Bobby Moe Show a couple of weeks ago. Was there a favorite thing that you grab when you're on the road, a favorite meal that you order when we're at the team meals at restaurants?
When we go on team meals, my favorite thing that we do is whenever we go to like a steakhouse type restaurant and I can get a good steak. I love that. We actually went to Texas Roadhouse on our last trip to Ohio, so I made sure I got a good steak there, and I felt very appreciative of that, because a lot of times, we'll go on the road and we'll try different places, Italian places, other places like that. But whenever we land a good steakhouse, I make sure I take full advantage of the opportunity.
Right, spoken like a true Texan.
Yes, sir.
For sure. You've got Mount St. Mary's coming up this weekend, Friday night at home here at Robert Morris at the UPMC Event Center. And then you're going to have a week until you play again at Davidson on the road the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Let's talk about Mount St. Mary's, what you want to see out of you, Khalil Spear, and what you want to see out of your ball club.
Okay, so coming into this game, me personally, I want to continue to see myself be aggressive on the boards. I feel like that is a big way that I can help my team, giving us extra opportunities on the offensive glass and then starting breaks on transition off the defensive rebounding. And I want to continue to be aggressive offensively in the right moments, because I feel like when I'm aggressive, I'm helping the team out in positive ways with my production. And I've seen that if I'm passive or if I'm not looking to assert myself, that sometimes it can be detrimental, and I'll make a pass that maybe I should have shot, or I'll shoot a shot that maybe I should have passed. I feel like whenever I'm playing aggressive, I'm more in the flow of the game, and it helps me help my team the best. So that's what I'm looking for out of myself, as well as continued production on the defensive end. I always like holding my man to less points and rebounds than I produce, so that's one thing I'm looking forward to. And I'd say from the team, one thing that's been holding us back in these past few games has been turnovers. So it would be great to see us, value the ball a little bit more, take care of the ball, because in a lot of our games, you look at the statistics, and our field goal percentage will be better than the other teams. We'll have out-rebounded them. We'll shot better from the free throw line. And that the glaring discrepancy is turnovers, just giving the other team more shots than us. So I definitely want to see us improve that. And then one thing that I think is just going to come with us playing together is just finding each other in spots that we know that will make that other person successful. We're still a really new team with a lot of new guys on the squad, so we're trying to figure out in game what's going to make us as a whole more successful. And as Coach Toole continues to find out rotations and things like that, I feel like it's important for us to continue to look for each other, to help each other on the court, look for ways to encourage each other when one looks like we're down, and just to keep a positive outlook on the season, because it's really early. So I'm looking for that, and I feel like if we do those things and control what we can control, we're going to put ourselves in a good position to win.
Sounds fantastic. I know it's going to come together, and I appreciate your time today here joining me on the Bobby Moe Show, and really enjoy watching you play. Looking forward to Friday's game and the rest of the season as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, that's Khalil Spear of the Robert Morris University Colonials, and we're going to come back and put a lid on this episode of the Bobby Moe Show, with a look ahead at the scores from all the other clubs playing here on campus right now, and, of course, the schedule ahead as well. That's coming up next right here on the Bobby Moe Show. Have you ordered your Perry's Ice Cream Family Fun Pack yet? Enjoy all the excitement of RMU football and men's and women's basketball with delicious Perry's Ice Cream, the official ice cream of the RMU Colonials. Get 4 game day tickets and 4 Perry's Ice Cream treats for $40. For more information and to order your Perry's Family Fun Pack, call the RMU Ticket Hotline at 412-397-4949 or check it out at rmucolonials.com. Let's take a look at the teams here at Robert Morris still in action during the fall season. First of all, football dropped a game at Monmouth, a lightning-delayed game for that fact. It was a 44-7 loss to the top-ranked Monmouth Hawks. Monmouth, by the way, getting set to take on Kennesaw State this weekend in a showdown of undefeated teams for the quasi-Big South Championship. Meanwhile, the football team here at Robert Morris will be regrouping for their final game of the season. It'll be against the Camels of Campbell University. That'll be Saturday at noon at Joe Walton Stadium. Ray Smoke Thomas and I will be on the call on ESPN+. You'll also be able to hear the audio of that game live and free on the RMU Game Day app. Men's basketball suffered some losses on the road opening the season at Central Florida, then Kentucky. They most recently dropped an 85-71 defeat at Ohio University to the Bobcats, and former Robert Morris assistant coach Jeff Bowles, who is now the head coach of the Bobcats at Ohio U. The home opener is Friday night against an old NEC rival, Mount St. Mary's. It'll be a 7 o'clock tip-off. Jimmy Elias and I will be on the call on ESPN+ and the RMU Game Day app. Women's basketball fell 60-50 in the home opener versus Akron last week. Tonight, they'll be at Detroit Mercy for a 7 o'clock tip. Saturday, they play Oakland on the road in Michigan at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And don't forget about Fansgiving this coming weekend at the men's basketball game Friday night against Mount St. Mary's, and at the final home football game Saturday afternoon at Joe Walton Stadium against Campbell. It benefits the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. donate 5 non-perishable food items. Bins will be located outside of the People's Gate at the UPMC Event Center. Fans will receive a voucher that can be redeemed for a ticket to either the men's basketball home opener Friday night or the final home football game of the season on Saturday. And you can also make a donation by texting RMU21 to 50155 or by visiting the online donation page, pittsburghfoodbank.org/RMU. For every dollar donated, the food bank can provide up to 5 meals for the children and families and seniors they serve across the southwestern Pennsylvania region. Just another reason to cheer on the Colonials. That is the Bobby Moe Show for this week. I'm the play-by-play voice of the Colonials, Chris Shovlin. We'll talk to you next time around.